All right, so now we are with this wonderful panel. We did it a bit mixed media, so it's not only talk, there'll be some presentation as well in the side. So I want to ask first to Ms. Ambika, who is leading North Rhine-Westphalia Global Business Office for India. North Rhine-Westphalia is known as the #1 investment location and industrial hub in Germany. So they were able to convert from an industrial to digital and to a business hub. And while doing that, it's also supporting Indian companies. So that's why we are very interested in NRW, because they are helping startups enter the European market. And I want Ambika to give us a brief overview about the ecosystem in NRW and the current initiatives which startups can tap into. Over to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, just check. Yeah. Just tap. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jose. I think there are so many things going into your mind, like speed up with all the things. Thank you for having me once again. And coming from Berlin to another state of Germany, my name is Ambika, and I'm representing the German state North Rhine-Westphalia. And I'm not here alone. I'm here with my colleagues Anik and Nicola as well. So when you speak about the ecosystem, NRW is the largest industrial hub, and that's why this is the important platform to present NRW here, because in all the speeches, whether it's for Datta, whether it's CG, we have seen the world is looking toward the Indo-Pacific strategy, right? So what is there where the India and Germany can come together and work? So coming back to the North Rhine-Westphalia region, it's the largest industrial hub. 18 million is the population. Of course, it's not as compared to India, it's not that much. But yes, maybe we can go back to the figures once again. I think people are also raising. So we have almost 20,000 global companies present in NRW. 7 lakh SMEs are present. When we were talking about Mittelstand, 7 lakh SMEs are present in NRW. And when we speak about the Indian companies, the number is still growing. There are almost 130 Indian companies are present there in NRW. So that is one aspect. And then when we speak about the sector, maybe we can go to the next slide. When we speak about the sectors, we are one side, we are the classic industry where we have the companies like Bayer, ThyssenKrupp, Henkel present there, but we are also working towards the emerging technologies like hydrogen, EV and renewable energies. And then I think it's moving a little faster, but it's okay. Yeah. So these are some numbers, what we are having. And now coming back to what we are doing and how we are working with the Indian ecosystem is that we were speaking about the startups, we were speaking about the Indian companies. So we have recently signed an MOU with NASCOM Launchpad, and we are offering, the 5 cities have come forward and offering 3 to 6 months working space for the companies as well as startups, and of course connect to the ecosystem. When we come to startups, we are having 10,000 euro welcome package for the Indian startups who can work there with the Digi House, with the Economic Development Office, with the industries, and then work together. I think I'll just summarize it here because there's lots to explain, but anybody can come to me and I can explain further as well.
Great. Thank you, Ambika, for that great. I never heard of this, that somebody gives you money and welcomes you, but whatever. The world is changing, and Indian talent, is looked upon to drive greater economic strength and vitality across the world. So maybe there is some strategic intent to that. So yes, Ambika will be here. You can meet her, around lunch, Network Connect, and get more details. And I'm sure that some of our network will benefit therefore from there. Now let me jump to Anik. Anik, you're from Bayer Science Fellow and also a Bayer Corp Science Life Hub initiative that was started in Bangalore. I think you headed it and took it to fruition. I want to ask you this. Bayer, with its significant global presence and deep-rooted expertise in life sciences, how is this science hub that Bayer has pushing innovation and creating things that are really needed for the market and the world at large?
Thanks.
Thanks,
Jose, for that question. Yeah. So before going into this, we are changing gears, talking about life science now, agriculture. So a little bit about Bayer. So Bayer is a global company. We are more than 160 years old and headquartered in Germany. Okay, so we are a life science company. Yeah. Bayer is a global company headquartered in Germany, and we are more than 160 years old. And we have a net sales of about 50 million. And if you look up in the slide up there, about 5 billion goes back into R&D every year, showing the importance we give on innovation. So innovation is what drives us. Okay, and we work out of 80 different countries. So Bayer, can you go to the next slide, please? So Bayer has 3 verticals. We have a crop science division, or the agriculture division that I represent. We have a pharma division, and we also have a consumer health division where you can buy over-the-counter medicines. And all these verticals require a lot of innovation. Okay? And that's where we see where it is very important to partner with innovators around the world, be it startups, be it academicians, be it other companies. So one such initiative in the agriculture department is what we call the Bayer Life Hub. That's a hub that I'm heading here in Bangalore. So what do we do at the Bayer Life Hub? So the Bayer Life Hub is actually a platform that the company provides to interact with innovators outside the organization. So it can be collaborate and have partnerships. We can have startups come talk about it. We can talk about the wonderful science that we do. We can also see if we can co-create or form solutions by collaborating with each other. So the Bayer Life Hubs, we have about 5 Life Hubs globally, 3 of them in Europe, 1 in America, and 1 in Bangalore. And each of these Life Hubs focus on the needs of that region. For example, in Bangalore, we focus on smallholder farmers. You would have heard some earlier presenters talk about smallholder farmers. We're trying to see how we can provide digital solutions or solutions to these smallholder farmers. And another branch of our investment wing is called the LEAPS. This covers all 3 divisions, be it pharma, consumer health, or crop science, where we invest heavily in startups. And the numbers are up there, but we've invested about 2 billion in the past 5 years in over 60 startups. So these are some initiatives that we take in interacting with startups and keep innovation alive in life sciences.
Wow, Anik, this is amazing. Huh? I mean, we just came with Prashant, and now you are saying also there's capital available from a corporate innovation perspective, which startups can, I think, compete and get selected and then get this. Is it grant, capital, share? How is it?
We have all. We have grants for university students. We also have capital for startups also.
Wow. So I think please don't let Anik leave the hall without all of you have taken his card. You know that.
Just to add what Anik has mentioned is that, see, maybe we are rushing for the few topics. The topic is intense. Actually, we cannot cover in 20-30 minutes. But when we are talking about how to bring India and Germany together, so there are possibilities, there are platforms, there are grants, there are seed funds, especially in the research sector. I think we heard that the startup should move towards the research, and for the research, we are looking towards Germany. So those kinds of grants are always present here. The only thing is you have to come up with the optimum solution which complements the German market, and then we are good to go.
Perfect. Some alignment and capital is not a problem. Excellent. That's a really nice message, a sweet message to listen in the morning. All right, now let's go to Nicole from Cologne Business and the Economic Development Office. Really nice to have you, and I think also your colleague Daniel. I don't know where do I? Yeah, okay, Daniel. Nice to have you both with us. Cologne plays a crucial role in the economic development. So Cologne Business is enabling that. And how does your organization, as a kind of a government organization, support local businesses and international companies that come and look to establish themselves in Cologne?
Thank you for the invitation. It's a great honor to be here today. Yes, as you mentioned, I work for Cologne Business, which is the agency of economic development of the city of Cologne. We are 100% owned by the city. I may just start with the second part of your question, what can we do to support international companies? So together with 6 other colleagues, we have an international desk supporting international startups and companies that want to expand in Europe and are interested in expanding in Germany. And what we do is help them with the whole establishment process, meaning giving them the contacts that they need, for instance, for legal advice, tax advice. If they are looking for a location, offices, co-working spaces, we help them with that. We also support with networking, which we think is the most important thing, connecting them with the relevant actors in our city, meaning associations, companies, and other startups. And we also help with the funding, which is a very big topic. And continuing to the companies that are already in Cologne, we have a company service helping with administrative issues. They help also with, for instance, if a company wants to expand and they are looking for a new office or real estate, we have a team working exclusively for these companies and is the first contact for them to expand and grow. Also, looking for staff. We can help them find the right staff, the right team members for their companies or startups. And yeah, for the international companies here again, like the 6 steps that we have. First, a consultation with us so we can give you an individual advice, see what are your needs and what we have in Cologne to support you. And legal and administrative issues, for instance, if you also need support with visa, that's something we can also help you with. Establishment in the legal entity in Cologne, and then looking for co-working spaces, office spaces. We have a long list. Cologne is a very dynamic city with a lot of offers. And then financial support. We have own grants from Köln Business, but also we have experts in-house that can give you an overview of the different grants that we have in Germany, but also in the EU. And finally, finding the right staff so you can start your business in Cologne.
Excellent. This is like further music to the ear. So you take away all the headache, all the other things other than the core area of business for the startup so that they can focus on their core value proposition and pivoting that to the right market. Excellent. You want to add
Just
something?
yeah, one comment here once again that we always believe in best practices. So recently in last 2 years, we have already hosted almost 30 startups from India. They have visited NRW in various delegations, and Cologne has of course very well hosted them. Apart from them, few of the startups have already incorporated the office there because they want to work not only with the, of course, with the companies are the major client, but also with the academia. So there is Excellence Gateway Center of Cologne who is also coming forward. DG Hubs are also there who are coming forward, and I think this is the right moment and right time and right message for the startup as well as the industry to come forward and reach out to us. Thank you.
Great. So now it's the second and last round of question, but just quickly because we
Slow down, Jose.
Yeah, whatever. All right. We want to link it to sustainability, from whatever you have said. So maybe I start with Nicole this round or with, okay. So I start with Nicole. Okay. As an economic development agency, how do you ensure sustainable growth integrated with Cologne's economic development as well? Because somewhere, with all climate change and other issues, too much growth also can create a problem. So how do you balance it, especially when international businesses come there and they want to set up? Would that overheat the economy? Give us some idea and some thoughts.
So we are over 80 colleagues at Köln Business, and we have a business development sector with colleagues that are experts in different fields, and we have in the field of transformation 2 colleagues that offer individual advice for companies, helping them with sustainability projects in their own companies. They also give advice regarding funding and financing in sustainability projects. They give information about climate protection measures in the companies that are already based in Cologne. They organize events, meetups in different topics, for instance, hydrogen economy, resource efficiency, and yeah, what they do, I mentioned networking, so connecting them with the relevant research institutes, the University of Cologne. We have more than 12 research institutes in the city, so this is very big, and connecting them. We have some own initiatives and strategies from Köln Business. I may start with that, Kölner Rahmen, or the Cologne Framework, which is a grant every year with different topics, and this year we had 3 different topics, one of them being sustainability innovations. It's a grant of maximum 50,000 euros, so we support the Cologne startups and companies that have ideas and want to or have innovations in the sustainability sector. Another own initiative is Impact Cologne, which is a platform where we try to get all the stakeholders, associations and companies together so that we come further in this topic. And these other points that you see in the slide are strategies from the city of Cologne. So the city of Cologne has the goal to become climate neutral by the year of 2035. It's a big goal, and we know that, and therefore we need the efforts of all the stakeholders in the different sectors. And we see, as a city of Cologne, a big responsibility from our part to do a lot and connect and make initiatives. For instance, the Cologne Perspectives has the goal to make our cities more sustainable with buildings and neighborhoods that are greener and sustainable. We also have mobility strategies trying to make the city greener. And we have also Smart City Cologne and Zero Waste Köln that are initiatives actually started from the population with the goal to have all the different actors participating, also the public institutions, but the companies. So this is just a few examples.
I mean, this is excellent because, you know, one of the things that I found startups being asked by investors and serious guys at the cap table is what about the net zero question, you know? So given that you have all this already in your ecosystem, it's much easier for startups there to connect and to make sure that they use the knowledge and the potential here to make sure that as they grow, they have a lower carbon footprint. From the previous 2 years to the next 2 years, it's completely amazing. So
maybe one short information also regarding this Green Startup Monitor 2024. Every fifth green startup founded in Germany is founded in NRW. So this is a sign what a strong infrastructure we have in NRW.
excellent. This is what we love, you know, startups that are green, that they grow. Therefore, the growth is not at the cost of the climate, but is a win-win for climate, people, and for businesses. Thank you so much, Nicole. That was really interesting to learn about all of those amazing things. Now we go to Bayer, and you know, great to see that interaction with startups. Now, is this connection of Bayer and startups helping with sustainability or sustainability adoption? From Bayer's point of view, is it a win-win for Bayer and the startup? That's the question.
Yeah, Jose, thanks for that question. Yeah, so Bayer, we are looking at startups to partner with to be with us on the sustainability goals. But I want to highlight a little bit about the challenges that we face in sustainability. All this time we've been hearing about crowded streets and the cities getting more crowded, roads getting more crowded and stuff like that. But we have a little different, we have a different problem. So all of you all know, but by 2050, we're going to have about 2 billion more people on this earth. And most of these people are going to be from Asia. And one of the major food that we consume over here is rice. And the way we've been growing rice over these hundreds of years is very, very, very unsustainable. So what we've been doing by growing rice is we're adding more methane in the air, greenhouse gases, and spoiling the soil, which we've been doing over the years without knowing about it. So now we've taken up this initiative to see how we could bring that down, to see how we could grow rice without water, without standing at the roots, which causes this greenhouse gas emissions. So we are actively looking at startups who can come with us on this sustainability journey to see how we can combat these problems and bring them down. So one initiative that we started up with, that we've actually signed an agreement with the government in India here is for direct seeded rice. So direct seeded rice is the way in which we can grow rice in a sustainable manner. Now what you'll see in the left here is how rice is being grown in Asia under puddle conditions where there's water. It's also adding more methane in the air, which is causing all the problem. The one to the right is what we are proposing for, where we are working on to grow rice with less water and where we do not disrupt the soil and also maintain the structure of the soil. So in these areas, we are actively looking at partnerships to see if any startups come up with ideas that could combine with ours to see how we could take this forward and tackle these problems.
Wow, this is amazing. Rising to the occasion with rice, the staple crop, especially for all of Asia. You know, from a numbers point of view, do you know how much water is needed for this 1 acre of rice farm? Just to get this?
I think it's about 3,000 liters for 1 kg of rice.
Okay, so this will be a big game changer, especially as there are water shortages in many of our metro cities. I think it's really nice. You know, thank you. That's amazing to see Bayer enabling that, you know, with capital, with ideas, with networking, with a stakeholder participation together. I think there is hope for the future, and we are really positive about it. And I really hope many of the audience meet Anik. We will be here till lunch at least, that I can promise. So connect with him and see how you can engage. And if you don't want to give your number, you can use Port. Port is a very interesting company. They just give you a QR code, everybody can connect. And whenever you want, you can disconnect, either of you, right? So you can share, and that's a good way to connect as well. All right, now we go to Ambika from the NRW ecosystem. So we heard about Cologne, we heard about Bayer, but overall, because you have a huge industrial base, you know, could you give us some examples of sustainable practices that NRW at a state level is deploying, implementing? Because this would give hope for more startups to look at NRW, because then you can have also state as a buyer of the solution and so on. So over to you.
So I think I'll be a little brief. The figures are already mentioned in the slide and all that. I'll not repeat those things. But what I wanted to communicate to all of you is that, the sustainable development is important and everybody, whoever is sitting in the room knows about that. But how to bring it together? So there, I think what we believe in NRW in the 3 Ps actually, and I think I read it also somewhere. The one is people, planet and profit. So when we speak about people, it includes the diversity, it includes the inclusivity, includes the, the nutrition or all those factors. When it comes to the planet, environmental factors, and when it comes to profit, so since I'm representing the Ministry of Economic Affairs here, so the profits. So I think there where we feel that, how to bring the sustainability as a part of economic development. So we should not forget that as well. When it comes to our government, they have already introduced many funds where these ESGs, they are aligning with the sustainable development goals, and these funds are not into a small figure, these are 100 million euros, where they're trying to bring or to encourage the companies itself. Of course, the academia is the part of that, R&D is a part of that, but companies also to encourage and work on these platforms and utilize these funds to to introduce this technology, whether it's green tech, whether it's renewable, whether it's hydrogen, and the examples you can see on the screen as well. So I would suggest that come forward when you have some kind of sustainable solution. And sometimes, I don't know whether Harish is there, and we see a very kind of pragmatic work between India and Germany as well. So there was last year, I think on your panel, there was one Indian startup who was working on sustainable solution and helping the Mittelstand in NRW. And we also have Harish, if you could, wave and all. So Harish is doing a great job. Plastic Fisher is there, who is working on the sustainable approach, startup from Cologne, and working together with the Indian government and the organization to bring together these sustainable reforms. So these are the kind of initiative, grants, funding when it comes top there, and also the ecosystem connect, where we can help. And sustainability is, of course, is the center point of for NRW, and we are committed to that.
Excellent. So if you have not already done it, please take a photo of that previous slide and also this slide. This has all the contact people. But you see, they have, as a government, issued a bond for sustainability, which is a 10-year tenor, which is really interesting, which means money will go into sustainable startups and people doing that. And then I also see Green Steel and ThyssenKrupp doing something there. That's another interesting thing.
Tata Power and SMS has already signed an agreement actually. So there are many things happening, and of course all my colleagues are here from the global countries. They will also be providing, but we are here to support and help the sustainability.
I hope, Ambika, you have bought a lot of business cards.
Yeah,
or you can connect with Port, Yeah. All right, so I think that was really amazing. Thank you so much, Ambika, Anik, and Nicole. It was excellent. I think we did the audience justice in this short 18 to 20 minutes. We were able to cover 3 wonderful perspectives from a city, from a state, and from a company that wants to do sustainability and build a better future. So thank you very much. Let's give a big round of applause to our wonderful panel.